Want me to get really close to the mic and you can hear what I'm saying, big boy?
Oh yes, that's what one likes to hear.
Should we just do the whole podcast like this?
A little bit of AMS, all those letters. Podcast.
Welcome to the Massive Nerdmigo podcast. My name's Massively Game.
Oh yes, massively. Tell us what we're talking about today.
Talking about how much we like to hold each other in the shower.
I don't think I could do that for an hour or more.
You're a coward. I thought you were better than that.
Welcome everybody to the Massive Nerdmigo's original podcast, M.N.O.P or Menop for short. This is a fortnightly podcast hosted by three geeks and nerds talking about nerd culture for your listening pleasure. Topics will range from games to comics, movies to TV, and everything in between that we geeks and nerds appreciate. My name is Doragon, I'm your host for this episode number 4, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Massively Gaming. Wibble, he's broken again, so, he'll be back next time. But
we killed him after we sacked him the last time.
He's been sacked, he's died on us, he's a bit squiffy, this one, so, with applications on a postcard below. You can catch the podcast on our YouTube channel, handle coming soon, and we are available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Anchor. We've had to sort some hosting issues out over the last week, so we'll look to expand to more audio platforms in the future if we can, and we'll keep you informed of updates when we have more to share. If you wish to support the podcast, you can via patreon.com/massive_nerd_OG_podcast. Supporters will be credited within the YouTube video of each episode that they support. If you don't have money to throw away, don't worry. You can give us some of the best support possible for free. You can rate the podcast on your favorite listening platforms or subscribe to the channel on YouTube. If you like the video and comment on each episode, this will drive engagement and bring more listeners in. All options will help us out massively. On today's agenda, we have the standard opening, what have you been up to for the last couple of weeks, but we'll also be answering a couple of community questions. We look at the Henry Cavill situation where he will not be returning to The Witcher for Season 4. We discuss our favourite Halloween traditions, our collection habits, and then discuss whether Pro Controllers are worth more than £200 before closing out the episode. So, without further ado, let's get in to episode number 4. So, kick us off then, Lee. What have you been up to for the last couple of weeks?
Continuing on my quest of breathing the correct amount of times every day. No, not a lot, really. We've just been the usual. We've been doing some streams. We've been hanging out. I did a joint Halloween stream on Friday night with SUNY.TV where I dressed up as an air hostess. So that was cool.
It was beautiful, I must say, yes.
We also, myself and SUNY, we also announced our own joint YouTube channel, which I hope you don't mind me plugging on here.
By all means, plug away, my man, plug away.
Link in the description. Where we will be doing some reaction videos and challenge videos. We have quite a few fun ideas, so that was fun for us to announce. But yeah, that's really it. The last 2 weeks, just sort of plodding on. What about yourself, big man? What have you been up to?
Not a huge amount. I've actually found it a bit of a struggle, content creation, last couple of weeks. So I did put a video out in the middle of the 2-week period explaining why Stadia died from just a consumer perspective with the readily available information. That's performed pretty well. It's had some really nice feedback and such, and it's enlightened a few people who hadn't seen that sort of stuff. So quite happy that one got there. But otherwise, I've been struggling to get new scripts down. I've got like 6 that have started, have been scrapped.
Be a surprise for you there, won't it, when I come in?
Fuck's sake. I'm not starting again.
I'm not starting again. No.
Wibble's here.
In.
Let's move on.
Wibble
back
has
from
arrived.
The dead. We didn't sack him. Jobs
we didn't eat his corpse or anything. No.
I still want to, though.
I mean, food shortages are on the rise, and it's cost of living crisis and everything.
We've had some sausage rolls delivered today, and they are out of date by 2 days.
That's what Wibble's been up to the last 2 weeks.
This is why he was unwell and couldn't make it. Fucking poisoned sausage rolls have finished him off.
Oh man. So,
Right.
yeah, we'll
Mine
skip over what else I've been up to. I don't matter. Whipple, what have you been up to for the past couple of weeks, mate?
Dying of sausage roll poisoning.
Cool. Right, moving on then. We did say that we're going to have some community input. So there's been a few comments, a few questions left on YouTube videos. The first one that we're going to go into, and we'll all have a bit of input on all of these ones, bit of feedback and what have you. This is from one of our Patreons. This is from Digital Pig UK. It's in relation to the whole Stadia discussion we had last time when we were saying about the download and upload speeds. He asks, why don't you guys sign up to Lila Connect, 900 megabits per second up and down? Wibble, any takes?
I mean, I have been looking at Lila Connect. They are in the area. I am attached to Virgin Media at the moment until at least March next year. As of then, I will look. I don't know nearly enough about Lila/Lila in the UK to comment on them. I know Digital Pig personally, and I know he's having absolutely zero issues with them, and that's all I've really got. I've got another friend that's looking to move over to them. Only purely because that his Virgin in his area, the Virgin internet in his area isn't working. So he's looking for them as an alternative. But other than that, I know nothing about them. What about you, Dorgon?
They're questionable. So most people know from where I've appeared other places, like I do know a lot about this, work within the industry and what have you. And Lila, however it's meant to be said, they feel sketchy. The way that they've been able to roll out the paperwork, they haven't had to dig up streets and such. They've appeared. I live on a private driveway, so they don't have any rights to come here, and they came with jackhammers trying to dig up one day before they got kicked off by about 6 of us. They feel very sketchy, very cowboyish. So I'm loath to go that route personally. I have just upgraded my internet as well, though, with Virgin Media, and I've got down speeds exactly the same, if not more. I got over a gigabit yesterday when I was testing after the installation went okay. Upload speeds, okay, I'm not getting 900 up, but 100 meg up for what I do most of the time, and like a 9 millisecond ping now is far superior to what I was on previously, and it's got the Wi-Fi 6. So I have questions and queries about their legitimacy, but from what people have said about its actual performance, nothing to complain about. So it is a possibility somewhere down the line. Lee, any thoughts?
No thoughts, just vibes.
Okay. Vibes?
No, I don't care. Genuinely, I honestly, I don't know what to say. I have Virgin do good, network, Lee happy, jobs good.
That is the most cerebral comment you're going to get all day, folks.
No, I don't know why you want 900 millibits up and down. Like I think mine's like 200 down, like 20, 30 up. That's fine for everything I do. I don't really think I need anything more. So
yeah, I mean, the only reason mine got increased from the 500 was it was cheaper. So I went for the cheaper option, yeah. So moving on, next one is from the dear Kiri Cat. In relation to the Chris Pratt Mario voice, she just says, "Thank you, Wibble, for pinning down the Mushroom Kingdom. Here we come being wrong. I felt like something was off, but couldn't figure it out." So there we go. We're already helping people understand what's wrong with the world in this podcast.
And if I was sacked, you wouldn't get that help. So in your face, boys.
I quit. Cool.
And the final comment we've got for this episode is, it's in response to me from episode 2 when we were talking about She-Hulk. I said I'd never seen Winter Soldier, Captain America Winter Soldier. I meant the Falcon Winter Soldier, not Captain America Winter Soldier. I've seen that movie. I loved that movie. I just haven't seen the Disney Plus series. So sorry for the confusion there, Cowboy. I hope this clears that one up for you.
I've not seen the series yet either.
I have. It was all right. The Marvel series they're all right. I can't think of one that I'd go out of my way to fully recommend, but they're just all right.
I mean, I'd probably personally recommend WandaVision. I rather enjoyed that. I liked how it started quite short and sitcom-y and evolved. I enjoyed that process. I don't know whether it's a repeat watch series, but it's definitely one that should be experienced, I think.
I think Loki's got to be experienced purely because of Ant-Man and Quantumania now. But other than that, I enjoyed it. But I think I enjoyed it because it was Loki, and then Richard E. Grant and other Lokis.
I feel like they've ruined the Loki character a little bit by trying to make him, I don't know, not try and make him good, but try and make him like relatable and nice, and that he's a bad guy. Be a bad guy.
Stop he's the god of mischief. He's not meant to be a nice person. He's meant to
watch the Avengers, bro. He killed people. He stabbed someone in the eye. He brought aliens to Earth to murder people, and then like now we're just like, oh yeah, he's good. No, be bad. Stay bad, Loki.
We want bad Loki. We want bad
Loki, not good Loki.
Well, yeah, I think that probably sums it up, doesn't it? Like, okay, that's all of them that they add to the story. They lead into what's coming next. But yeah, good Loki. Questionable. So, moving on, our first big topic of the day. This is a bit of a bombshell that's been dropped on the nerd community overnight here in the UK, Saturday daytime in the US. Henry Cavill will not be returning to The Witcher Season 4. This is the man who said less than 12 months ago he was committed to the full 7-season arc. He wanted to see Geralt done properly. He's a massive fan of the books and games. And then yesterday we found out we won't be getting any more Henry Cavill as Geralt of Rivia after the next season, which comes out some point in spring 2023. What are your guys' takes?
So angry. Like genuinely, like proper angry. I've never seen because I've only played a couple of the games. I've not read the book, so sorry if it's different. But I've never thought an actor nailed a role as much as Henry Cavill nailed Geralt. I thought he was excellent. I thought he was so good, and I genuinely don't know if I can watch it with someone else doing it, let alone I have no beef with Liam Hemsworth, but I just don't think he'll stand. If Liam Hemsworth comes in season 4 and absolutely smashes it, you know what? I will be first to say so. But I don't think anyone can come in and do the job that Henry Cavill's done, and I just think I probably won't watch after. I'll give it a couple of episodes. I'm not going to be like that guy. Like, oh, I love Henry Cavill, so I'm not going to watch season 4. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to watch it because the Witcher series they're pretty fun. I do enjoy them, but I just don't see how anyone else can do it than Henry Cavill. I thought he smashed it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it was anger that I had personally. It was more disbelief originally. Like that, there's been that many weird news articles and headlines in Cavill's career around what he is doing, what he isn't doing. Like you look at the Superman gig, because a couple of people didn't like a Brit in the role of Superman, they blacklisted him, and because he would contractually, he was obligated to get paid. He needed to be compensated for his time to come and do the cameo in Shazam, because they weren't willing to pay him more. And they said, oh, it's just a contractual obligation you have to fulfill. He's like, well, no, that's not how these things work. It's a two-way street. And that's not what my contract says. It was then blacklisted. They sacked him there and then, but never told anybody. So that's something that's come out in the last couple of days now, that new leadership is in charge of the DC EU. But whenever he gets something good, so he got Superman, this was great. Obviously, couldn't then keep doing things like the Tudors and stuff back in the UK. But then he signed on for The Witcher, and suddenly Superman's gone from him. And then recently he signed back on for Superman, and now The Witcher's gone for him. It's like, what is this man's career? Like, he's a caliber of actor that we all want. He would easily slip into the role of James Bond dead easily. He would easily slip into the role of the Doctor quite easily. Like those big pinnacle British icons, he's already taken on Sherlock and nailed it. He could easily do any of them. That's the caliber of actor that he is. He's turned his hand to superheroes, to fantasy, to serious, to bad guys, to good guys. Why do studios keep just getting rid of a good thing, one of the most marketable men on the planet? I don't understand why this keeps happening to him. And I think that's where my disbelief came from. That, and as you said, I've never seen anybody embody a character so well. Like outside of the source material, I'm currently reading the books, and I understand why he wants to be that version of Geralt. It is better than the game version of Geralt, like far superior. And I get why he wants to sort of embody that. But yeah, complete disbelief from me personally.
Wibble, any thoughts?
I was upset.
Do you want me to come around and hold you?
No.
We can have a cuddle and watch the first 2 series on repeat to make ourselves feel better.
Yeah, we won't watch the second series.
I like the second series.
I thought it was okay. I thought it was okay. I thought season 1 was much better and far superior. But I spoke to Doragon because he reads the source material properly, unlike me, which I don't. He clued me on a few things on season 2 and stuff, and I got it more. But I just liked season 1 a lot more. As of the casting or the not casting now of Henry Cavill, it just feels. Let's just end it after season 4. Why do we need to keep going with somebody else? I mean, Liam Hemsworth, I'm sure he's a great actor. I honestly can't really tell you what else he's been in, apart from, was it Thor Ragnarok when he was Thor, and Love and Thunder when he was Thor? That's all I can tell you that Liam Hemsworth's been in.
When was Liam? That's Chris Hemsworth, who's Thor.
No, yeah.
He was in it
in
though.
the theatre.
So
in the theatre play, he was Thor.
So he was also in Hunger Games. He was, is it Gabe or someone like the original love interest in Hunger Games?
Not seen
Hunger
Games.
Been in a bunch of rom-coms, and a couple of them with like Rebel Wilson are utterly hilarious. And
so he's perfect for Geralt then.
He is a versatile actor, and I don't think he will do a bad job. The problem he's going to face is this isn't a character like, say, the Doctor or James Bond that we are used to being recast, especially for a character that's only going to be around for 7 years total. Like, it doesn't need to be recast. We were all set for Cavill to go all the way through it. He told us last year he was going all the way through it. So to then just have Liam thrown in when out of nowhere, like 4 or 5 days after Cavill announced he was back as Superman, to then lose him as Geralt, for fans, like, he's our king. This is the king of the nerds, Mr. Cavill is, and I will happily take off my crown and hand it to him. He is that kingly sort of thing. But to just suddenly have it ripped away when it was so perfect and just have someone else thrown in, I know we see it with other characters, but it feels different and wrong with Geralt just because of how perfect Henry was.
So, I mean, you may have heard in the background there of mine get someone going, no. I believe they've just heard the news of Henry Cavill leaving. I think the pup's been naughty. I saw it early this morning. I was like, why? And then I thought, well, is it Cavill just getting the Warner books and then going, yeah, I don't have the time for do this because whatever we've got for Superman or whenever Man of Steel 2 is currently doing this is when they won't do this. And he's had a conversation with the showrunners at Netflix and they've gone, no, we're not changing the schedule. And he's gone, okay, well, I've got Warner books. I mean, that's a possibility.
It is. I think a bigger possibility is disenfranchisement.
Yes.
I've been reading stuff from all around the internet, and there's been a couple of quotes going out from producers of the Witcher Netflix show saying that the writing staff... Say again?
Aren't they slightly deviating from the source material in the upcoming
You're
season?
always going to slightly deviate from the source material. You're doing live action work, and as good as special effects are and such, there's still stuff that you literally physically just can't do. So I understand that. There's certain characters who've died or lived that didn't in the books, that did or didn't in the games. So you've got to tell a story in a way that works for a television show. The second novel is 80 to 90% of Geralt's own thoughts. He's sitting with his back up against a tree just thinking. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I could watch 8 to 10 episodes of just him sitting with his back against a tree in an internal monologue. As
But you said it was amazing, so you can.
It's different when you're reading it because you visualize what he's visualizing, sort of thing, obviously. So yeah, they were always going to deviate to make it a bit more interesting for a television audience. You've sort of got to with the way these things work. But from what I've seen from one of the producers of the show, he said that you get certain shows where writers actively hate the work that they're pulling from, like the origins that they're working from when they're doing adaptations. And that seemed to be very much the case for The Witcher. When he was working on it, he's like, there were people actively bad-mouthing the source material. You know, this multi-million selling novel, these multi-million selling games, and they're bad-mouthing them because they don't like them. And it depends where season 3 has gone. Season 3 is the Wild Hunt. This is the one that everybody knows from the biggest video game of the last generation, The Witcher 3. And if they're not doing that justice, if they're actively changing that for the worse, I could understand why Henry might want to get out before it completely tanks, before it ruins his reputation or ruins the character that he loves and adores so much.
I guess we're going to find out more in the coming weeks and months of what the actual thing is. I mean, look at what the news is dropped. Was it this morning as well or last night about DC coming and approaching Kevin Feige to run the DC universe? It's like, what?
The best thing that could happen to the DC universe is to not get Feige. He has run Marvel into the ground. He's ruined it.
I think he's only ruined it because Disney want more.
They just stuck James Gunn in charge.
James Gunn and somebody else, and I can't pronounce the guy's name.
They've got different jobs though. So James Gunn's in charge of like the movies and stuff like that, isn't he? The other guy's more like, I don't know, other stuff. I didn't.
The
really...
business.
They're meant to work in tandem, and I like the idea of having two people there because you don't get this whole egotistical approach like you get with Feige, sort of thing. If Feige doesn't like it, it doesn't happen, even if it would possibly make the movie better. So I quite like that there's a balance, that there's two people. I feel like it should be 3 maybe, and with a bit more diversity in there, not just, you know, rich men at the top of it sort of thing. But, you know, we'll take small victories when we get them.
Yeah. Oh, good news! They're remaking the first Witcher game, aren't they?
They are. Yes.
Unreal 5.
They're making it in Unreal 5. Yeah.
They're remaking it, and I'm really in for that. And we're going to get next gen versions of Witcher 3 soon, which you can upgrade to for free if you've got them on the previous gens, which is pretty. I mean, you're screwed if you're on the Switch. You've got last gen's version, pre-gen.
You've got the gen, pre-gen, devolved gen.
You've got the Dreamcast version, but I'm excited for that. So because I liked Witcher 3, but I picked it up and then I got like 10 hours into it, and then I stopped for like a month, and then I couldn't get back into it. So this looks like a good chance to pick it up and play through it again on the PS5. And then The Witcher, the first one,
it's aged horribly, hasn't it? Like the original.
I'd say that I've got the original.
Not aged well.
Yeah, it's horrendous. The first Witcher I've got it on Steam. I didn't play it. I played it not so long ago, and it's aged horribly.
Just do Witcher 3, but Witcher 1 stuff. Jobs are good. Money.
Yeah, you use the Witcher 3 engine. Maybe use, well, obviously using the Unreal 5 engine, but I imagine most of your Unreal 4 assets can move across.
They can.
Use that underpinning and put the Witcher 1 skin atop it.
Yeah.
And I think everybody will be happy.
100%.
Anything to add then, lads, on Mr. Cavill and our sorrow?
The one thing I will say on Henry Cavill, because I'm not a big fan of Superman. I'm not a big fan of Superman though, so I'm genuinely biased. The best thing he ever did as Superman was CGI out the mustache. It was amazing. Was it Justice League or whatever it was?
The Justice League, the Justice version. The
Justice League. He had his CGI like mustache And it just looked like. Bear in mind, the film that he had the mustache for, Mission Impossible, was an infinitely better film than Justice League.
I mean, come on, he reloaded his arms.
He reloads his arm. I saw that. It's because he was doing it lots and he wanted to keep his like muscles.
He was tired. Yeah, that's all it was. It was between takes. He was tired and he just reloaded his arms. It's like, no, you're putting that in. Oh, you mean I have to do that again?
If I ever get into a fight, I'm reloading my arm before I get knocked the hell out.
It's the only thing I'm going to be able to do. Yeah, I'll be out cold very quickly after, but I'm reloading my arms first.
Yeah, that's my last bit on Henry Cavill. Big fan. Don't like Superman. Great CGI'd out mustache.
I love his Superman.
Oh, well,
I love his Superman. I think he's one of the best on-screen Supermen. I'd say he's been overtaken in recent years by Tyler, but that's only because Tyler's had more screen time.
Yeah.
Who?
The
Superman
TV
alone.
show version.
Yeah, I don't like Superman. I just think Superman's boring. It's like if you watch the Justice League film, which is like, oh, we're struggling. Oh, Superman's here, cool.
Yeah,
He's
but
boring.
Please tell me you've watched the full Snyder Cut.
he
No, I'm
hasn't.
not going to watch it
no, he
because
hasn't.
Oh,
I didn't
dude,
like it enough the
please
first
do
time around
yourself
to
a
watch it.
favor. Do yourself a favor and watch. Like, you don't need to work. Just watch it during work hours.
No, I apparently
It's
do
an
now, so.
infinitely better film.
Infinitely better.
But making it infinitely better is like going from losing your right leg to using your left leg, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So I can't be bothered
No,
to
you
sit
don't.
through. Isn't it like 3 hours long hours or something?
4 and a bit hours. 4 hours,
What
3
the
minutes.
fuck? No, fam. I am not watching 4 hours of a movie that I already
Did you watch
like.
the 3 hours Batman? Did you watch Robert Pattinson's Batman?
Yeah, that was a really good film in my opinion.
Yeah, there you go. It's not quite that level, but it's getting towards that level of awesome.
I honestly, Robert Pattinson as Batman shouldn't work, but it works so well.
He's a phenomenal actor. Of course, it was going to work.
He's very good, very very good.
Anyhow, before we get distracted on this topic again, let's move on. So we're looking at people's favorite Halloween traditions. This is going to be going out, all being well, on Halloween Day itself, on the 31st of October. I don't have much editing to do between now and tomorrow.
Do you want me to start swearing and saying your name a lot?
Yeah. If you want to do that, I want to make my life a living misery. Please do. So everybody has Halloween traditions. They can be big things, they can be little things. Different countries have different traditions as well. So we've got listeners from quite a few diverse places thus far. So I thought it'd be quite an interesting thing to go through our favorite Halloween traditions, things that we do every year, things that we've partaken in that we really enjoyed, but maybe doesn't happen so much anymore, that sort of thing. So how's about we start with Lee? Do you have anything Halloween-y other than, as you've already mentioned, dressing as an air hostess, that you really enjoy getting into every year?
Yeah, so I like to, at the beginning of Halloween week, I'll make sure all my curtains are closed and the lights are off. And then throughout the week, I'll make it seem like the owner of the house, me, has passed away. So that when Halloween comes around, no one knocks on my goddamn door.
That could have been even better. You could have just said then, see if the owners ran away, and then what I do is I put a sheet on and then I run around the front going, woo!
No, because that involves me going outside and looking at children and looking at people trying to knock on my door and shit. No, you know what I'm doing? Like, if any of these little shitbags knock on my door, they can get in the bin, get in the absolute bin. I died a week ago. I put the groundwork in. You all saw it. It's your fault for knocking on my door. I will. Sorry,
people in that estate must think it's the most unlucky house on the earth.
I mean, if the owner dies every year, yeah, that's quite drastic.
No one on this street likes me anyway, so I really don't care too much. So I get all their Amazon parcels because none of them join and I work from home. It's just like, come on, Joe, what have you been ordering? No, sorry, but, you. Okay, I won't make that joke here, but yeah, let's move on. What about yours, Doragon? What is your Halloween tradition?
It's kind of died, my traditions, living back in the UK. When I was in Australia and New Zealand, it's a big thing over there. Like, they go all out for Halloween. Every shop is dressed up, every cafe is dressed up, most houses are dressed up, and everywhere has something Halloween based. Like, there's places to go fully costumed up. There's prizes for it, whether it's a nightclub, whether it's like just a social gathering hub, whatever the case may be. Even like the martial arts centers, like they had contests that all the public could come into for like a nominal couple of dollars sort of thing, and just watch characters spar out with their practice martial arts. So like one year we had the Grim Reaper versus Ken from Street Fighter, which was hilarious, but it was a damn good fight, damn good evening. But we don't sort of have that. It's not really built into society here in the UK. So around our estate where I live, we have a lot of people who put decorations out, some pumpkin carving and such like that. But there's not many kids that go around trick-or-treating. There's a lot of children on the estate, and I've stocked up the last few years, and obviously through COVID a bit harder to do that sort of thing, wasn't it? But prior to that, like stocked up, had everything in, and maybe got one knock on the door sort of thing. So there I am, dressed up, ready to scare children at the door, and no children appear. So it's sort of gone by the wayside a little bit for me. I do miss where companies and events put stuff on for Halloween, and it was a fun time. So adults and kids alike wanted to go along and have a good time and dress up and make something of it. I do miss that from down under, but yeah, over here it's sort of gone by the wayside a little bit, unfortunately. Wibbs, yours is going to be different because there's two young'uns with you, isn't there?
Well, there's one young'un and one like teenager now. We always do the trick-or-treating with the youngest. If the eldest wants to come, he can come. If he doesn't, then he don't come, does he? Do you know what I mean? But my main tradition on Halloween is the 31 days. So I watch 31 different Halloween / spooky / horror movies, one for every day of October, not November, for October. So tonight I am watching Halloween Ends, which is the third one of the latest trilogy. I've heard nothing but terrible things about it. I'm going in with Halloween was great. Halloween Kills was ridiculously average and going rubbish. So I'm half expecting this one to be even worse, but it's number 30. And then tomorrow I will finish off with my favorite scary movie of the past 10 years. I think it's 10 years. Sinister. I always finish with Sinister. I love it. It's one of my favorite horror films ever. So that's pretty much all we do. We do the trick-or-treating, and I do the 31 days. That's pretty much all I do. Apart from games. Games, I will try and get as much Halloween stuff on games that I play as I can as well. That's pretty much all of my traditions, really.
I have noticed your streams had a nice Halloween makeover for October as well.
Yeah, I do that as well.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it? Like there isn't that much just sort of put on for Halloween. It's like all the shops sell a load of Halloween stuff here in the UK, but nowhere else sort of pushes Halloween, has any events that all of this stuff could be bought and used for. No. Unless you're in an office somewhere and maybe your engagement team at work say, hey, dress up, there'll be like a half day off prize sort of thing.
Yeah, it's over the past years since I was younger, it seems to have dropped. Halloween's dropped in the UK, as you say. It's kind of just fell by the wayside slightly. We just kind of just go, you know what, fireworks, let's explode some stuff. And we forget Halloween. Like when I go in the shop, you get a dead small Halloween section. And there's a massive Christmas section right by it. Huge Christmas section. It's like, go away. It's not even November. Go away. But yeah, I miss it. I mean, if I was 100% now, we'd be decorating the house. But purely because I'm not, and just haven't a chance, cost of living and everything. We just haven't a chance to dress it up this year. But we do like to do it. I like to do my video games. I like to do my 31 movies. I do like doing that. I got that from a friend who always does it, who's a huge horror fan. So I always go to him for dead obscure films and things like that. So I do like doing the whole thing. I do like Halloween as a whole, but I just feel that I belong in America at Halloween, so I can experience it.
Yeah, I sort of feel that sometimes as well. I would like to experience an American Halloween. I don't know how they do an entire day of it. That seems a bit excessive to me. Like it should be the night, the evening once it's gone dark for me. Like the spooky, scary darkness, like brings the people out. Because that's what it was in Australia and New Zealand. Like the day was just normal, and then it's like went dark and it just shifted, changed immediately. Yeah. But I would like to experience an American Halloween. I think it's one of those things that you can't properly appreciate like, as much as TV shows and movies try to tell us, unless you've like first-hand experienced it. I don't think you're ever going to fully understand, are you?
No. Do we have anything else to comment on, Lee? Anything else? Obviously you just want people to think you're dead, which is quite nice.
Yeah. That's spooky enough for me, bro.
That's it.
Yes. The annual death has become him.
Had me off that as. Oh dear.
I did not expect that. I really didn't.
Nope.
So moving on then, you're going to learn a couple of things about us today. We're moving on to collection habits. So this is one you brought to the table, Whip. So take it away, man.
Yeah. So obviously we are all nerds, geeks, and everything in between. Maybe freaks too. Some of us, especially, likes to die at October.
Geek in the streets, freak in the sheets, baby. Sorry.
There you go.
Oh,
you
my
don't
days.
sheets on. You don't have your sheets. Who told us?
It's probably one of the worst things I've ever said in my life.
And that is
I can't believe that escaped your mouth.
Oh, me and Lee have already said what the title's going to be for this podcast, but now it's just shifted.
We've got some options, guys. We've got some options.
We do. So obviously the part of nerd culture, geek culture, not just gaming and different TV series and different things. We all have collection habits, even as human beings. So what I would like to know is get to know my co-hosts a little better, is what you guys collect, why you collect them. Are you completionists? Like if you go in on a line, do you have to collect everything? Or do you just say, I only want pieces of this collection and then that's it? How do you go about your how do you choose a collection as well? I want to start with Doragon because I know that Doragon 100% collects. So Doragon, what do you collect and why do you collect it?
Oh, to the bane of my partner's existence, I collect, yes. Storage is an issue with collections, so it is a limiting factor. And over my life, my collection habits have shifted. I think the first collection I ever had was M.N.O.P comics. Way back when I liked reading it anyway. Like whenever you went into, say, doctor's surgery, dentist surgery, I spent a lot of time at the orthodontist growing up. Because it was a child specialist orthodontics, they actually had stuff for kids to read rather than just the Telegraph or something. So that was nice. So I got into reading it there, really enjoyed it, and then started, doing the odd job around the house, like cleaning the bits of the car that I could reach, helping dad mow the grass, all that sort of stuff when you're really young, and then actually just taking over and doing those jobs yourself. And I did those to be able to earn the M.N.O. every week. So I spent a good 5 or 6 years doing this, collecting the M.N.O. Picked some classic ones up at car boot sales and what have you. And I don't know whether that sparked the entire thing or whether I just have one of those personalities that likes to collect things that interest me. And that's the starting point for me. They've got to be interesting. I have an oddly large collection of prop swords. Granted, that's come from cosplay, but the swords that I've got, I had to like them to do that character for them, if that makes sense. So, for example, from Bleach, I've got Ichigo Kurosaki's Bonkai, which is a 52-inch katana. Made it with my little brother. We sat in the back garden making that over the course of 3 different weeks. It's the wobbliest thing on the planet. Like, if you're slightly terrified in battle, people are going to know because the tip of the sword is just shaking like 17 foot left and right sort of thing. But it was fun making it, and I wanted to make it because I liked the aesthetic of the weapon. I have Zoro's swords, I've got Prince of Persia swords and daggers. I've got from the DMC Devil May Cry reboot, I've got the Aquila, which is the 3-bladed spinning weapon that he has in that game. So yeah, that collection sort of stemmed from I want to dress as this character. I want to portray this character in a convention environment or in a stage environment. And I want the weapon to be one that I like aesthetically, that brought me joy when either watching or playing something. But it's always been that sort of interest that's started a collection. And it's not a case of, oh, I need everything. It's got to be something specific within that collection that I really like. I obviously have this affinity with dragons. I've got multiple different little dragon statue things, but it's not a case of I would go and just buy 1 million dragon statues. I have to actually like the aesthetics of it to have it, sort of thing. There's nothing particular. I'm not a completionist in that regard. I don't need to have every single one of them unless it's something like a series of games, a series of novels, a series of comics that don't make sense if you've only got 1 or 2 of them. I like to have the whole story in that regard. But yeah, I don't collect everything. The stuff I don't have a problem getting rid of. Bottle caps, for example, when you've got these limited edition bottle caps, they'll go straight in the recycling once I'm done with them. I don't care about that sort of stuff. It's got to be something that speaks to me, and that can be weird and wonderful or very mundane and normal.
Okay, Lee. Now I know one of the things you're going to say, but what's your biggest collection?
The souls of my enemies.
That is exactly what I was thinking.
I store them in a jar and put them on the mantle next to.
How do you extract the souls? I'm quite interested by that one.
So what they don't tell you is they don't tell you how to properly extract a soul on all of these like horror TV programs, because you actually extract the soul through the anus. I'm sorry. I'm very tired. Right. I don't collect too much because I don't want to spend money on that much things. Like I have loads of like games from like older consoles and stuff that I collect. I have like some N64 games and stuff. But I think the biggest thing I've got a collection of is I've got like far too many Amiibos, because I wanted some Amiibos because I thought they looked cool, and then I bought a couple more because I thought they looked cool, and then I now have over 100 of them, and Emma hates me and my Amiibo collection, and she will leave me because of them, I think, at some point. But that's fine, because as long as
I know those
Amiibos,
feelings, man. I know those feelings. I'm with you.
But yeah, like I've got like a whole bookcase just full of them, and then now my bookcase is full. So I bought some Splatoon ones the other day that are now just lying on my floor because I don't know where the fudge to put them. They're literally just on, like I can see them from here, just thrown on the floor, because I don't take them out the packet either. I'm one of those weirdos that don't take them out the packet. Some of them are out the packet, but most of them aren't.
I'm not that well versed in Amiibos, but what do they do?
So it's it's not NFT, is it? It's NFC. It's NFC.
2 very different things there, my boy.
So depending on the Amiibo, it does a different thing in the game. So like you have the first Amiibos I got were the Zelda ones for Breath of the Wild, and you scan them in, you can get items, but like depending on what Link Amiibo you have, you also have a chance to get, like, so if you have the Ocarina of Time Amiibo, you have a chance of getting the Ocarina of Time tunic and some weapons and shit. And then there's just each, like the Splatoon ones, you can get like different items and costumes and stuff. I've got a Detective Pikachu amiibo that's about the size of my hand. It's huge. I don't know why I have an affinity with them, and I need to stop.
So with them being NFC, can you use them when they're in the packet? Because you said you don't unpackage any of them.
Nope. So what you do is you go on eBay and you buy the card collection of the set. Someone will be selling in NFC cards for about a tenner of the whole set. So you just buy the NFC cards, and then anyway you don't have to take it out of the packet. And then I bought the whole Splatoon set for a tenner. It's like 18 NFC cards. Just scan them in. Jobs are good. And
so these things are purchasable physical things that can grant you in-game items that you won't take out of the package, even though that's what they do, and then you'll go and make a second purchase so that you can get the in-game items.
I didn't tell you I was a sensible person, bro. I never claimed
Mate,
never played-
collections in full stop. Like, none of them make sense. Like, there is no reason for any of us to have any collections. It's just that one. I find it so funny.
To be fair, I've only bought 2 card collections, which was the Zelda collection and the Splatoon collection.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of Smash Bros. Amiibos that I literally just bought because I like them. So with the Smash Bros. Amiibos, the way they work is you scan the Smash Bros. Amiibo in, and it creates a profile of a CPU character. So if I have, like, say I have a Bowser Amiibo, I scan in Bowser, and it'll make a CPU Bowser, which I can train up with spirits and items from the thingy. It's not career mode, is it? The story mode. There you go. The story mode in Super Smash Bros. And you can make some genuinely OP like characters using the amiibos, and they just literally melt you, and it's so much fun. But yeah, that's the point of them. But I just like how they look, and I like how my shelf looks with them all on it, because apparently I don't like having money. I also have like, well, I've stopped. This is a correction. I stopped like the past year, but I used to collect Pokemon cards as well. Again, never played the game. Couldn't care about playing the game. I just liked the art and how they look. But then people like I think one of the big people for it was people like Logan Paul got into Pokemon card collection, and then the prices just went astronomical. And the prices were pretty bad to begin with. But now when you got people like Logan Paul going into WrestleMania wearing a Pokemon card around his neck, the prices for the cards now are just ridiculous. So I made the sensible decision to stop buying Pokemon cards, just because the ones you want are just so expensive. It's just ridiculous.
Were you buying them one at a time, or were you just buying like booster boxes and hoping?
Bit of both. I bought a couple of. I liked you can get like Elite Trainer boxes that you get like 8 packets, and they come with like some sleeves, and the boxes look nice. I think I bought about 5 of them in the end before I realized, the money I'm spending on these, I can just buy the 2 or 3 cards I actually want from the set. And then
fair enough,
to the point where the 2 or 3 cards I actually want from the set, you were spending over 100 quid on a few cards, which I didn't, by the way. I think the most I spent on one card was like 15 quid, and that hurt a little bit. So yeah, Pokemon cards, fun. Like, yay, children's card game, woo, ruined by adults that have too much money.
That sounds like every child's thing. Ruined by adults with too much money.
Wibbs, bring it back around then.
What do you collect, Wibble?
Oh, where do I start? I am literally surrounded by collections, half collections, full collections, not my collections. Yeah, so I'll start with Sam, my girlfriend. She is a avid Harry Potter fan. Anything Harry Potter, she will collect. She never really collected it before me and her got together. Afterwards, I was like, you know what? If you want it, just get it. I don't see what the issue is. And that turned into every single Lego Harry Potter set in the past 3 years. Like, literally, I've got sitting next to me 1, 2, 3. I've got about 9 unopened boxes of Harry Potter Lego. I think I have. She has. I haven't. So yeah, that's in the corner. Next to me is 12 Grimmauld Place, the Harry Potter Hogwarts Castle. Behind that is my Lego Stranger Things upside down. If anybody owns that, sell it. If they don't want it, because it's tripled in price over the past month for some stupid reason. No one knows why. Yeah, so Sam's got Harry Potter. Myself, my collections started with the Ghostbusters. So around about 4 or 5 years ago, I think it was, Diamond Select Toys released the Ghostbusters line. It might have been longer than that, but it was 10 series with 3 in each series. I managed to kill that collection off fully in around about 2 or 3 months. The main reasons I love Ghostbusters, I grew up with it. Ghostbusters 2 was the one I grew up with, because Ghostbusters 1 was released when I was born, so I didn't really get to experience 1 until later. So I grew up with Ghostbusters 2, the Ghostbusters animated series. So half of that series is, well, so it's split into 3. So you've got Ghostbusters 1, Ghostbusters 2, and the animated series for at least, I think it's 3, 6, 7 of the 3, 6, 9. I don't know. I can't think. There's a few. It's up in my mum's loft now because I've got no space. But I got all those. I got all those. Now, the Egons, because obviously Harold Ramis passed away, are astronomically expensive. Especially the animated Ghostbusters one. I got it for £33 in a collector's edition and in a collector's condition. My friend recently just acquired it and he paid £190 for it. It's like, are you mad? He's like, well, you won't sell me yours. No, I won't. That's right. But the same friend got me into my second collection, which is the NECA Gremlins line. So I am currently being a completionist on those. I am getting anything that moves and anything gets released. I'm not going backwards in time. There's no point. Some of those are the rife with knockoffs, the rife with fakes. I just can't do it. I just can't. So I'm going from when I started collecting. Now, he sold me the Spider Gremlin from Gremlins 2. Now, he only sold it me for £40. I checked on eBay. It was like 200 quid. I was like, are you sure you don't want more money? He's like, yeah, it's going in the collection. And it's literally pride of place downstairs in the living room. It's on top of one of the cabinets with Gizmo shooting the bow at it from Gremlins 2. So I'm happy with that. And then the big collection that I did have, I don't have it anymore, was Transformers. Grew up with Transformers again, grew up with it, loved them, loved Optimus, had all the toys as a kid, got rid of them stupidly, so now they're worth a mint and I haven't got any. I collected the Masterpiece line. Now, they are what Hot Toys are to Transformers. Each one can go to, say, £170 to £200. I think I spent £350 on one. I sold that whole collection during the first lockdown. I think I made £2,500 profit, which is not bad. I was happy with that just because of COVID, really. That's the only reason I sold it. I thought I'll put something else there. And the something else that I put there was the NECA Turtles line. So Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. I have got all of those so far. I am a full completionist with those. It feels like I'm a completionist with everything. However, I'm not. You'll see in a minute. So I've got all the NECA Turtles there downstairs alongside the Gremlins. I've got a few coming. Actually, I've got a few coming next week, I believe. Yeah, I've got a few. I've got Loot Crate exclusives coming because I didn't buy the Loot Crate. So I've got to try and find them not stupidly scalped, which I've done on a couple. I've got another 2 more to buy, but I'm not going to grab them, I don't think, for under £100 each, which is upsetting. Very upsetting, especially considering they're just Rocksteady and Bebop in a bunny costume. So if anyone's got them for £50 each, I'll take it. But I won't get that. The biggest collection that I've got, which is all around me at the minute, is my wrestling line. So I've got a mixture of WWE Elites, WWE Ultimate Editions. Now, the Ultimate Editions are just a better quality Elite. More posability, just more everything, articulation, everything, better likeness, things like that. And the AEW line. So there's a wrestling company called AEW, World Elite Wrestling. It was made by some of my favorite wrestlers of this generation. So I followed them all the way through. I saw them build AEW. I was like, right, okay, excellent. And I've gone in on every single wrestling figure they've got so far. And there's been 9 official, well, there's been 10 now. 10 series of the main line, 5 series of the sub line. And then that's not including the various 2-packs that they've got, various special editions and everything. I've literally got 6 series up in my mum and dad's loft. I've got series 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3 here. And each series has got 6 figures. So what's that? 6 times 36 figures just sitting here at the side of me that I've got no room for yet. Yeah.
That's a common thread through all of our collections, isn't it?
No room, yeah, it is.
No room.
No, it is. But with WWE and with WWE, I'm not a completionist. I've got a list of wrestlers that I loved growing up and I love now. And I am sticking quite rigid to that list. I've branched out with different people that I actually like the figure of. Like the figure, yeah, it's a really good figure. Not much of the rest, but the figure's great. I'll buy it. But with the AEWs, I just buy them regardless. Some of them look trash. Like, honestly, they look nothing like the character. But because I've got to go in because I've started going in, that's it. I'm knee deep in it now. That's my main collections. I mean, I collect Lego, but Lego again. It's anything Back to the Future, anything Ghostbusters, and anything Simpsons. If I can grab the Simpsons, I'm literally the Simpsons house missing. I've got the Quickie Mart. If I can grab the Simpsons house, I will. But it's stuff that I relate to, like it's pop culture and stuff. Like I'd have the Sesame Street Lego set. I'd have that because it's really good. I never watched Sesame Street growing up ever, but I know the characters, and it's like I know that I'd have it. But I've got the 1989 Batwing here on the floor. It was hanging, and then we decorated the room last year, and I've not hung it back up since. So that's there getting battered around everywhere. So I've got to be careful I don't lose pieces to that. I've got the 1989 Batmobile, the Ecto-1, the large versions, the DeLorean. I've also got the tall neck now, Doragon.
Hey, I've got that one. That was a fun build, that was.
Sam's got me the tall neck for Christmas. She showed it me yesterday. I was like, why are you showing me your Christmas present? Why are you showing it me? Well, obviously you've seen it now. Yeah, they have, because you showed it me. But no, yeah, it's a little ridiculous, the collection that I've got. I do go a bit mad, and I do go a bit obsessive. So I am constantly got links open to stuff that's going to come out. Oh, and I've also got a NECA Back to the Future collection and a horror collection.
Before we lose complete control of it, it's just this is Wibble's collection. You can catch the Wibblecast of his collections at a later date.
I know.
Maybe we should move on before.
I would, because I'll find something else I'm collecting here.
Oh man! So what we're saying essentially with collections is we're all slight collectors. One of us is a major collector.
Yeah, adorable.
And it comes down to we've got more money than the kids.
Yeah, barely. I think we fell asleep, so it's fine.
Cool, chill, having a good time, hanging out. With the boys. Now it is. Sorry,
that was definitely you waking up there, wasn't it?
I'm muted, so you can't hear me beating the shit out of my keyboard as I reply to messages. Sorry. No, all right. Sorry, everyone. Wibble's just having a nice conversation, and then all you can hear in the background is.
Yeah. I'll give you that one this time.
I do want to.
The comments might not give it to you.
I do want to say something to Lee.
Yo,
with your classic game collection, do you own any consoles?
Yes.
Oh, which ones do you own?
I have a SNES, I have an N64, I have a GameCube.
What colour's your GameCube?
I think it's black.
Oh, I've got the black one.
I've got the black one. I've got a PS1, I got a PS2. Never owned a PS3. I have a Wii. I have a original Game Boy. I have a Game Boy Color. I have a Game Boy Advance. I have a Game Boy Advance SP. I have the original old DS. I have a DSi. I have a 3DS. I have a 3DS XL, which is both the SP and the 3DS XL are the limited edition Zelda versions. I have a Wii U. I have an Xbox 360. I have one of those SNES minis that they did as well. Somewhere.
I've got a SNES mini and a NES mini.
I didn't get the NES mini. There's not enough NES games I like. I think that's it. I might have others. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I have a lot of consoles. You
see, Lee played down his collection there. He's like, I've got a few.
He did a bit, yeah. Console collecting is big, man.
I knew you had consoles. Yeah,
I have so many.
I love consoles. I still want to own a Dreamcast.
I never owned a Dreamcast, but the guy that lived 2 doors away from me when I was a kid had one, so I just played his.
Do you want to know the annoying thing? I used to do a lot of scouting, and we did car boot sales or, like Village Fate sales regularly. So people would bring in bric-a-brac, and I say that in inverted commas. And one of the things they brought in was a Dreamcast.
What?
somebody brought a Dreamcast in, but you know when you don't quite click on what something is or how important it is at that moment in time.
Yeah.
Like I must have been like 12, 13. So like I knew what gaming was. I got a console at home sort of thing. But it just didn't click what the Dreamcast was, how advanced that was for the time. And we were selling it for £3.
Oh,
Like,
that hurts my soul. That hurts my soul.
it hurts I was the one who was there. How do you think I feel?
£3 great British pounds.
£3 great British
Me and
pounds
Lee-
back
me
in
and
the
Lee had a bidding war on that.
early 2000s.
I
Yeah.
see your £3 and I raise you £3.12.
Oh, those
This random
£3
loose
from back
button I
then, they're
have in my
worth like
pocket.
20 now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I didn't realize what it was. I didn't realize how important it was. But that thing, like just looking at it, looked futuristic at the time. It looked like nothing else on the market. Like that controller in your hand was so totally different. It was great. Like I wish I'd had the foresight as a child to pick that one up.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Young Dorrigan was an idiot.
he was, yeah, and he apologizes to you lads now. Otherwise, we'd have Dreamcast content, wouldn't we?
He better.
Yeah. I want the Sega Bass Fishing with the rod. You had the little rod accessory. Oh,
Can't you just get that on Switch now?
I've sold my Switch.
Oh yeah, you have, haven't you? Yeah.
Why?
I don't use it enough.
Fair enough.
I didn't use it enough. I mean, I played Pokemon Legends for about 6 or 7 hours, and then I just stopped, and then I had no desire to go back. So I thought I'm just going to get rid of the Switch.
That's fair enough.
Mm.
Better have the money than it just sitting there not being used.
Yeah, it wasn't even that I didn't like it, because when I did play it, I enjoyed it, but I just didn't play it enough, especially with my PC and my PS5. I just didn't have it. I just didn't use it enough.
Have you managed to sell the Xbox yet, or is that one still with you?
Gone. No, the Series X is gone as well.
Do you just not use any consoles anymore? With
PS5. She's PS5, PS5 and PC.
It's fair. Can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Right, we should move on to our final topic then, shouldn't we, boys? I imagine this one, we're probably all going to be on a very similar thought process, but I am interested to hear what you guys have to say. We're talking Pro controllers. So within the last 2 weeks, Sony have fully announced their DualSense Edge. This is a professional grade PlayStation 5 controller. It can be used with the PlayStation 5, it can be used with PC, and it comes with all sorts of mod cons. So you can adjust the resistance of the resistive triggers, for example. You can fine-tune the haptics if you so fancy. It has, as we've all been calling them, flappy paddles on the back so that you can remap button inputs. So say like you're in a first-person shooter, you can use one of the back paddles to reload so that you don't have to take your thumbs off the sticks rather than popping across to like square or circle to reload, depending on the design and developer. So they're quite good. They've got magnetic thumbsticks as well that are swappable, like really easily swappable. You don't need to take the whole thing apart to change those out. It looks like a really nice controller. I would love to have a try of one. The problem I personally face with it is it's £209 here in the UK. That is a lot of money. A lot of money. But saying that, when you look at the likes of SCUF controllers, they're all in the £190 to £210 bracket. So it's in line with other Pro controllers from other companies. When you look at the Xbox Elite 2, that was in the 190 mark. They seem to have dropped it since the announcement of the DualSense Edge.
3 at the minute.
Yeah, so that's come right down in price, but these are still very expensive controllers when you consider the base ones are between the sort of £60 and £70 mark. My thoughts are I would love to try one. I think they could be a great addition to your gaming setup, but holy heckers, where am I finding £209 for a controller from unless I win the lottery?
You sell your Switch and your Xbox. Well, you buy some controllers, lad.
I mean, I would say that, but I sold my Xbox Series X with the Elite Series 2 controller.
Oh, so you actually had one of the Elite controllers?
I did, and it was fantastic. I'll be honest, it was. I got a token. I got a code through from Curry's, the English UK electronical place. And I got my
Nailed
I
it.
don't I know.
That description's great.
I got mine for I got my Elite Series 2 for I think it was £87 it worked out as.
So not a huge amount more than the base controller.
No. Which is why I took it. I used it for a bit. I really, really enjoyed it. I really liked it. I wish I'd have kept it, to be fair, if I'm honest. However, £209 for the PlayStation 1, I will not be buying it. I won't. It's not a necessity, especially when
Just for some flappy paddles. I don't get it. Personally.
Yeah. I mean, the adaptive trigger, the trigger stops on the Elite Series 2 were amazing, so you don't have to press it all the way down. And it was good. It was good for first person. So for Overwatch, so to speak, you just have to like tap it. It's really good. Just for stuff like that, it was good. The flappy paddles in the back, I barely used because I was too programmed to use the face buttons. But that's me being an old fossil. That wasn't the fault of it's rubbish. It's not. I assume in some respects that would be amazing. The change of the thumbsticks, brill. The Elite Series 2 are magnetic as well. That was great. The only thing I can say is the Elite Series 2 is fantastic. And if it's anywhere close to that, the DualSense, it'll be fantastic. I mean, that to me is the gold standard. My stepson, Finn, he had a scuff. And when he used the Elite 2, he was like, I don't want really use the scuff anymore. It's not that good compared to it. And it was cheaper.
So Scuff have multiple lines. So I've just got one up here that I'm looking at. It was one of the first ones on the page when you load the Scuff website.
Yeah.
It's the Scuff Instinct Pro. And without any modifications, without any user calibration or anything, just as a base, no matter what color you choose, that's £199. That's 200 quid. Well, it's 199.99. So yeah, £200 makes no difference.
Mm-hmm.
So Sony have priced this in line with the competition. But who's buying these sort of controllers? Like you say, I mean, okay, they're better in that Elite 2. You loved it, but would you say it's worth 140, 160 quid, let alone 200?
That's a tough one because obviously I didn't pay that. Would I go out and pay that? Probably not for the games that I play. I mean, if someone's there playing and streaming, say, Warzone or Apex Legends, and they want something a bit quicker with the trigger hairs and easier to maneuver, then if they're serious and they make money off playing those games, it would be 100% worth them getting that. For me, it's not worth it. I mean, I'm looking at the Reflex Pro now on the Scuff site that uses for the PS5 and the PC. That's 220 starting from.
And so that's more than what PlayStation are offering direct.
Correct. Yeah, and that's with nothing. That's with no modifications, nothing.
The thing is though, if you are like a Warzone or an Apex streamer and you are serious and you are doing it for for a living, you're using mouse and keyboard.
You've got to be.
You're not using anything else.
The precision of mouse and keyboard is unrivaled.
How much you spend on a controller, your aim is going to be worse than someone using a mouse and keyboard. Straight up.
Aim assist is on controller.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Aim assist is you still got to put it in the right for the aim assist to work, and in the time you're fiddling with your thumb, someone's flicked their wrist and you're dead.
Yeah, mouse and keyboard. Like we saw it 12 months ago now when Halo Infinite launched with that massive crossplay. Well, I loved that I could play with you guys. I was playing on the cloud. Wibble, were you on the console at that point? And Lee was on PC?
I was on PC through Game Pass.
Yeah. So we were all playing, but you guys, the fidelity that you had, the speed that you had, like I remember Lee calling, behind us. And you two had spun and killed 3 people before I'd been able to spin on controller, and I'd got all of my sensitivity up high. I got it as high as it would go, and it's like, I don't care who you are, I don't care what aim assist is. Maybe in a one-on-one, in a perfect situation, that aim assist from a controller might allow that player to win out against a mouse and keyboard player. but the speed and precision that you've got with just being able to point that mouse exactly where you need it to go and click, the speed and precision that you have outweighs controller 7 ways from Sunday. So like Lee says, I don't think like even that pro crowd, unless it is specifically, oh, we're playing this tournament on this console, I don't think even they're going to be going for it. Is it just a flex thing?
It's a controller made for casual players that want to dominate people after work. I don't know how else to put it. Like it's like the only people that are going to be gaining too much from this are the people that have the £200 to spend and are not good enough to go pro, but need that little bit of extra help to beat the 15-year-old sweats that play it every day. I don't see who else is getting it, because like I said, anyone that's playing professional, anyone that's playing streamer for a living to a crowd of people are using mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, 100%. I would agree.
And you can get a decent mouse for 50 quid. My mouse cost me 50 quid, and it's a good mouse. It has buttons and stuff. That's all you need.
Mine has a specialized DPI button, but it is connected to my tablet, so I can't really say how good it is in that regard.
Yeah, it's just I just don't see the point of spending £200 on a controller when the controller, like the PS5 controller, is nice, bro. Like
DualSense
the PS5 controller is a good bit of kit, and
I would argue that
150 quid, 140 quid for some little flappy toggles. I don't get it.
I mean, I get the idea of the magnetic sticks, because what we have with the current ones, with the washers and what have you, I've just described that terribly. That's not how these joysticks work, but people in the know what I mean. They wear over time, and you will get stick drift. It's unavoidable on any of these basic controllers, just because
guaranteed if you get a
Switch, yeah.
Big up
this
the
is why we all have
Joy-Cons.
about 12 controllers for the Switch, and only ever one person is playing.
At least the Nintendo Pro controller, which by the way is a very, very nice controller, they're only like 50 quid.
Yes.
Yeah, they're not bad. I was lucky. I managed to pick my Switch Pro controller up for 20 quid. Got the Monster Hunter Rise one for dirt cheap. I don't know why, don't know how, but not arguing. Obviously surplus stock or something. It's a very nice controller. I have smaller hands than most people, which is where I could see the paddles on the back coming in play, because my hands rest where most of those paddles sit, because I can't reach some of the higher buttons, like going for, say, triangle or X, is it on Nintendo and Xbox, up the top there.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a stretch for me, and especially on the non-PlayStation consoles, because the PlayStation's got the big touchpad in the middle for like your menu items and such. I can just slap that wherever with whichever hand and it works. But where you have to go for like this top button on Xbox on the left-hand side of the controller, it's a proper stretch to try and get to, and they've got their left stick up the top of the controller. It's one of the most uncomfortable gaming experiences out there, whereas that nice small compact size of the Nintendo one works for my hands really nicely.
While you guys have been talking about the pros and cons of controller versus keyboard, I have just built a Scuff Reflex. Now, all I've done, so it's completely grey, it's light grey. All I've done is changed the left thumbstick and the right thumbstick to the left thumbstick being a short domed one, and the left and the right one being a long domed one. So nothing too major.
Good for FPS, yeah.
Yeah, nothing too major. The rumble is in. If you take the rumble out, it is £10 extra. So I've left it in. So
it's more to take it out?
Yes.
Oh, that makes interesting.
Makes zero sense.
This is Lamborghini's tactics here. We'll take 100 kilograms out of the car and make it £100,000 more expensive.
Yeah. So I'll just go straight down the list of what it is. So reflex faceplate, grey. Touchpad, black. Faceplate trim, grey. The sticks we've mentioned. The left ring, right ring, grey. The bumpers, grey. And the instant type, they're not the long press. Everything else is light grey, basically. So have a guess how much that comes to as a checkout price for UK money.
234.
210.
None of you are close. It is £304
Get in the bin.
and 80
What?
pence.
Just buy a Switch, bro.
Yeah, you could get a whole console for that. You could get a Series S for that price.
Don't buy
And that thing has it can access any platform on the planet. You can emulate PlayStation on that.
It's £52.50 in just tax. However, I've just clicked next. I can have standard shipping by 11th of November, £12. By the 7th of November, £20. And by the 2nd of November, which is, as we are recording, Wednesday,
it'll be in 3 days from when we're recording, yeah.
£35. So it's even more than what I've just quoted.
Madness. I don't know why anyone spend that much on a controller. Just
no, I don't. Like there's technology in there. There's technology in there that would do a lot of people, a lot of gamers, a lot of good. The magnetic sticks, and I understand they're a bit more expensive and a bit harder to engineer into such a small body. It's going to maybe increase the price, but surely you can put those in an £80-90 controller. And because the sticks are that much better, people will be willing to pay that. Yeah. Give me the DualSense with those magnetic sticks and maybe the flappy paddles. I'd pay £100. But 200? 300? Like the DualSense controller for me is what next gen is all about. Like that has been the biggest experience of these next generation consoles of the PS5, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S. Nothing else has felt next generation to me. I've not noticed a big leap in frame rates for certain games. I've not noticed a big leap in graphics or anything. It's been that controller and the way that's been implemented. That is the next generation. But asking that much for it.
Oh, and that's without the charging carry case as well. If you put the charging carry case in, it's an extra £35 on top of that.
Why do you want a charging carry case? Where
are you taking your controller when your console's at home?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it?
Just charge it before you leave the house. If you're taking it around a mate's house, just
just take the cable.
Yeah, I mean, the Elite Series 2 came with the charging carry case. Now, fair enough, you had to plug a wire through the back of that, but it looks like you do with this one as well. Oh, it's just basically it's just a magnetic base to put all your thumbsticks in. That's what the Xbox One was. And then you put the wire through it, and then it charges off that. It's like a wireless charging pad, basically. And it comes with that for £142. However, this one, just on its own, so bundle and save Reflex Pro and a player pack, which looks to be, it doesn't look like, it's just literally just a few cables and the charging pack. That's £255 as standard, without any things with it.
I'll tell you
modifications.
I'm going to put this out in the world. Sony, Microsoft, Scuff, and anybody else who makes pro controllers, if you want to change our minds, reach out. We've got an email address on the YouTube account. Reach out to us, send us some of these things, and let us see what the hype is about. Yeah. Because right now, you've got 3 people here who love gaming, who do it regularly, daily, who can't fathom why these things exist. Prove us wrong.
Hey, you guys, I just shit on your controllers for about 10 minutes. Can you send me a free one? Thank you. Mwah.
It's a challenge. They don't have to take it. Whether they'll even hear this is a different matter. But
at them on
I would like to be proven wrong.
Fight me, bro. Give me one of your free controllers.
So the player pack, I've got it here. It includes protective case, okay, gamer grip. I will get back to that in a second. A 3
gamer grip sounds like something else, mate.
Wait till I tell you what it is. Wait till I tell you what it is. A 10-foot / 3.6 meter USB-C cable and 4 extra thumbsticks. They look to be flat. They don't look to be domed. So there's too short, too long. Now, going back to this gamer grip, the picture that it shows here, it's just a tube of what looks to be lube.
Yo!
It literally is a black tube, like a moisturizer tube. So I'm guessing you put it on and then it dries. It's like chalk. That's the best thing I can think of.
I watch one of the YouTubers I watch. He does speed running, and he's also a musician. Does plays guitars and stuff. And there's something called, I think it's called Dry and Glide. it's to put on your hands for when you play guitar, and it's supposed to help you and everything. But he uses it for speed running because it helps his hands stick to the controller. So effectively, gamer grip. It's just dry and glide, baby. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's what
You
it
may
looks
as
like.
well have the chalk that climbers have. Just dip your hands in the bag at the on your butt, and then like you've got the grip on the controller.
You just got white powder everywhere while you're playing your thing. You just like you have like a mad cocaine addiction while you're trying to fucking speed run.
But of course, Scuff, if you want to send us some, that's absolutely fine.
I mean, yeah,
dry and
we've ripped
glide.
into
Send me some
these.
dry and glide as well, please.
I mean, okay, we've ripped into these for 10 minutes, but with reason, with good reason. It's not like we're saying, oh, they're terrible things, but we don't know. We're trying to find a reason to justify their existence, justify their cost. And as paying consumers as we would be if we went to any of these companies and bought one of these devices, we can't fathom that. Why should we part with that much cash? So yeah, prove us wrong. Like, convert us if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we can take away from this, as obviously I've been ripping into the Scuff site and the money and stuff, but myself, Doragon, and you, Lee, we've all used the Nintendo Pro controller, and it's fantastic. I've used the Xbox Series Elite controller. It's fantastic. It's probably the best controller I've used, and that includes the DualSense. I mean, as Doragon said, if you take out the normal sticks and put in the magnetic sticks for that DualSense, that's changed my mind completely. But £209.99, I think it is, for that experience. I personally, with the games that I play past, I mean, I casually play Destiny 2 on the PS5. If I'm go into a master dungeon or a master nightfall, I'll hop onto the PC, play M&K. If I play Dauntless on the PS5 very casually. I play RPGs on the PS5. I have zero need for it. I play Overwatch, but obviously I'm not amazing. I'm not going for a ranked, so if I get ranked, I'll probably be bronze 5 forever, so I don't really mind. So for me, I don't see the benefit for me, unless PlayStation can say, you know what, this is going to benefit X, Y, and Z game, and then one of those games are like, you know what's for me, and I play a hell of a lot of it, then I don't see myself purchasing it at all. But congratulations to everybody that does. I'm sure you will have an amazing experience with, which will be the best controller on the market. It 100% will be.
Yeah. I think that's it. It's we want to experience it because we all know how good the DualSense itself is. So, you know, giving us a bit extra on it, a bit more, it's only going to be better. But yeah, £209, man. £209. Lee, any closing thoughts?
No.
You can buy 3 DualSenses for the price of that Pro controller.
Do you ever regret asking me to do this?
Never. As much as we take the mick out of each other and fire one another on a regular basis, this has been one of my best content creation moves going. I will say that.
You're a cutie. We should get together and kiss or something.
Oh, Lee, actually, I've got something to ask you.
Me?
You, yeah. Do you need any time on this podcast to promote something?
We've already done it.
You've missed that bit. You were dead for that bit. We'd eaten your corpse at that point, so, you know, welcome back to life.
About eating your corpse.
Can you tell me what it is? Because I missed it. I wasn't there. Or have I got to wait till the podcast goes live tomorrow?
Yeah, you have to watch when it goes live.
Oh!
At the beginning of... It's at the... guys, link in the description.
Yeah, link in the description for that announcement that Lee made at the start of the podcast. Links in the description for all of our channels. Some of us with tags, some not yet. All of the handles are coming to YouTube, including to this channel. So you can find us all from the description. If you're not listening on YouTube, Lee, tell us, where can we find you around the internet to check out your content and keep up with updates?
Actually, I won't make that joke. You can catch me on Twitch. I'm hanging out, playing games, playing God of War at the moment. That's fun. We're also playing Overwatch and hating the rank system because it's garbage. And you can catch me on my new channel with my bestie Suni at Looney Reacts. Link in the description.
Wibbs, where can we find you around the interwebs?
Pornhub.
That's the joke I was going to make. I was going to say you can catch me in the comments at Pornhub on Furry 69 Lover or something like that.
You remember that comment of I didn't regret this?
God, now regret everything.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Me and Whip will go around the Pornhub videos giving like gaming advice in the comments.
Same username.
Yeah.
But Lee's massive takes on a whole different meaning.
Yeah, it's quite an ironic massive, but it's still there for a point.
Oh my days!
Well,
Link in the description.
Anyway, Whipple, where can we find you, my friend?
you can find me on Twitch /Wibblesniff01. I am playing Destiny 2 at the moment. I am trying to get the Festival of the Lost done. I'm trying to get Ghostwriter, the title. You'll find me trying to get the crown on Dauntless for the last few days, regretting all my life choices on that because it's ridiculously hard. And also playing some Overwatch 2, but I may be offline. You may see me sneak into Lee's stream at some point and play Overwatch 2 with him, or ask. Go.
Anytime you want to come, Overwatch with me, Daddy. You just say the words, baby.
Are the words Pornhub?
Yes.
Yes.
I feel like this bit's going to be heavily edited.
Yeah, and me. No, yeah, that's where I am. All over the internet, I am Wibblesniff01, including the more risque sites. Doragon, how about yourself?
You can find me everywhere at Doragon86, so Twitter, YouTube. There are other websites, not Facebook. It banned me for talking to an old friend. But other than
no one uses Facebook unless you're trying to get like 50-year-old moms to watch your content. I wouldn't worry about Facebook, bro.
I need the female demographic. What can I say?
You need the
I need the 50-year-old mums. Yeah.
We're gonna start calling Doragon streams Iceland because that's where mums go.
Hey!
Anyway.
So yeah, I am lucky enough to have the handle on YouTube, so you just need to type at Doragon86 and it'll take you straight to my channel. Like I say, we'll update everything else. That's where you can find all of us. For the podcast, don't forget you can find us on YouTube. Search for Massive Nerdmigo's original podcast. Previous episodes are on Spotify. As like I said at the start, we are changing that around. There's a new host, so we'll keep you updated as to where you can find future episodes in future episodes. Otherwise, just search Massive Nerdmigo's original or M.N.O.P on your favorite platform. Feel free to rate the show, comment on those platforms that support it, and ask any questions that you may have. We will always look to answer those in future episodes, give shout outs to some of the lovely comments like we did at the start of this one. Otherwise, I've been your host for this episode. My name is Doragon.
I'm Lee. Hi.
I'm Wibblesniff.
And until next time, have yourselves a fantastic day, you guys, and take care.
If you've made it this far into the podcast, comment your favorite cheese.
Cheese in the comments below.